Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy C.Harrison up here with another True Life Topics live. Hope everybody's doing well. It's a beautiful May Sunday early evening. It's the first decent day in almost a week that we've had to be outside. I actually have the kids out here on the porch. We're just enjoying the outside time. And I know it's been a second since I put up another video. And there's a reason for that, so of course I'll explain that. But I got my little coach shirt on and everything. But I wanted to just reach out to everybody, say, hey, how you doing? Let you guys know that I am still doing this. I got a lot of pots that I'm stirring right now. The books are almost done. The first book is almost done. The second one is about 30% completed. The poetry book is almost halfway done. And the album, I finally settled on a number of songs. Hey, teacher, how you doing? I finally settled on a number of songs for the album. It's going to be 12 out. It's going to be 12 tracks on the album, and 5 of these songs are finalized. They need to be re-recorded because they were recorded raw. They need to be re-recorded and then mastered, and then I'll work on the remaining 7. And all of this should be done before the first book will be in it. What's going on, Rhonda? How you feeling? Today's um, today I want to talk about progress and what that means, and what we should, if we're really about something, what we should be aspiring to do. Um, Progress can mean a lot of things to a lot of different people. I want to try and settle on as simple a thing as possible. Progress is a refining of things. Progress is a growth. Progress. We think about progress. A lot of times we think of that as being synonymous with growth, and that's true. It can be growth in terms of growing into some things, and then it can be growth as far as growing out of some things. So progress works on both those levels. So I wanted to just put that as as a basic basis. They're running laps on the porch right now. But I say this in the spirit of all the different steps that progress can take. Um, Obviously, we look at it in terms of in the simplest of terms and the most generally understood terms as, like I said, just, you realize that you've gone from step A to step B. You realize that you've come out of a deficit into out of a deficit area into a beneficial area, and those two things are good. Now, all the nuances in between those, I wanted to talk on those. I was inspired to talk on those because those are some areas that I've been experiencing. You'll notice it's been about a month since the last live that I did. In that time, I have read no fewer than 5 books. No fewer than 5. 3 of them actually came from you, Rhonda. And those two being the three of those being One Day My Soul Just Opened Up from Ian Van Zant, which I finished in like a week. The Celestine Prophecy by James Redfield, and then A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle. And between those 3 books, that put me in a position to come back and do the lives more consistently because I had to experience a moment of, I guess, reassuring. I don't want to say reassuring, but a moment of resettling, a moment of confirmation, a moment of uh, encouragement, but not encouragement that came from another person per se, like, hey, you could do it, but encouragement that came in the form of me having the truths that I have, and then seeing those truths being manifested in the same way that I'm experiencing them, but in these written forms. And these are books that were written most of them, I think all of them were written 10 plus years ago. So that tells me, one person could look at that and say, well, that means you're behind. No, most of these books weren't very. They were picked up and people kind of ran with them, and then people lost steam with them. But the truths, when you get into it, the truths that you see in them, and the mindset that they're asking, that they're having you come into and understand, is something that's going to traverse society for decades upon decades to come. Once people really start getting into it and understanding that stuff has been getting spoken about more and more. So what that tells me is that I'm on the right path, because for a lot of you who do know, and some of you who don't, most of this comes out of uh, a lot of major events. One of them being my divorce from last year. Another one being the need to understand where I come from more and more. A need to understand who I am and who I was brought here, what I was brought here to do, and who I am, and what I'm designed to do. And part of that came through my ancestry test. I'm going to do the African ancestry one. I did the ancestry.com one, so I have an idea of where I'm from ancestrally wise. I want tribes now, so that's something. And then understanding, uh, equally as important as understanding who I am and what I'm here to do, it was understanding who I was not and what I am not here to do. Because that's somebody else's lane. I'm not here to be all things to all people. I'm here to do what I do, and the people that are receptive, and the people that aren't, somebody else will get you. you know. But when it comes to, and understanding of that was progress. That's why I'm bringing it up, because understanding of that was major steps forward for me in being able to have the confidence to come forward and do what I'm doing right now, which is sharing these life truths, sharing what I've learned, sharing what I've experienced, and what I hope will in the hopes that by sharing with it will give you the strength and the courage and the permission to give to yourself to actually, you know, challenge the status quo and challenge where you're at right now, and not to be okay with where you're at right now. And let me clarify that. I don't want you to be complacent with where you are. Understand that you are where you are right now, because that's exactly what you need to be experiencing right now. But don't be complacent with where you are right now. All right? So get what you need. Be okay with it in terms of understanding that you have something to get from this moment and where you are in your situation, in home and family and work and love and sex and whatever, and God and reality, all that stuff. But also understand that you have somewhere else that life wants you to go. Understand that there is a purpose, not just a purpose in terms of what you're here to do, but a purpose in terms of who you are and what it takes for you to uncover that. That is a major journey. And I tell people now when I do get into these conversations with that, and I try to make things as simplistic as possible, and they ask me, well, Chad, what is it all about? And I say, I'm not conceited at all when I say this, but I have an understanding of what life is in terms of our relationship with God and our relationship with the earth and our relationship with each other. There is a scripture in the Bible, and I don't have it. My pastor friends, if you read this, you can check it out. There's a scripture in the Bible that says, it is the glory of God to conceal a matter, and it's the glory of man to reveal or uncover it. And that's no truer, in my opinion, than when it comes to your own life. You don't come into this life understanding everything that there is about you. You don't come into this life with an automatic mastery of how you're supposed to be able to relate with other people, and how you're supposed to relate back to God and to the universe and to creation and nature and things of that nature and things of that sort. But what your life is given to you for is for you to focus on with a passion, with a joyful and enthusiastic passion, to uncover, to accept, to love, and then use everything that has been put inside you. And nature mimics this stuff. It mimics this stuff. I'm gonna give you a wonderful example, and the Bible uses it. I'm gonna summarize it and make it a little bit faster. You have the biggest trees that come from the smallest seeds. So you put this seed, this ridiculously insignificant seed, you put it in the ground, you water it, you give it nutrients, and you water it, and at the end of the span of time, you have a tree that lives for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, and in some cases thousands of years, and everything that tree needed to become that tree, this glorious, wonderful, standing, all damn near immovable force of nature, or revelation of nature, comes out of this ridiculous seed that you can hold in the palm of your hand. And we see that in all these different things. So I say that to say humanity is no different. We were seeded here on earth, and it is our job, just as the seed and the roots, reach down by their design. They reach down to take root. They reach down and they pull nutrients, and the trunk starts to pull up, and the leaves try to catch the water, and the trunk grows strong to withstand the winds and all that stuff. By its nature and by its design, so also by our design, we are here to take root within ourselves. We're here to take root in our environment. We're here to be synchronous with our environment. And just as no two trees are the same, and no two trees can provide the exact same level of whatever it is that they provide. If they're fruit trees, you'll have one tree where the oranges are as big as your head, and another tree that makes oranges that are the size of tangerines or something like that. And then you got all the trees in the middle. But no two trees are alike. That's what I'm saying. And and we all know that no two human beings are alike. But we're all planted here. We're all in the same orchard. The orchard being Earth, and to progress, it is our divine nature and our divine duty even to reach down and shore ourselves up in the foundation of what it is that we are. Just as a tree uses itself to root itself, it is our job to do the same thing. Just as a tree sprouts down and sprouts up, our job is to expand. Our job is to expand and grow and reproduce. Expand and grow and reproduce. And that doesn't just mean having kids. It means as you share, just as a tree is in give and take with its environment, it gives nutrients. What does it do? It takes in carbon dioxide, it gives off oxygen. It takes, it gives. It takes, it gives. It takes in nutrients from the soil, but it also provides rooting for the topsoil, which is why, when you don't have trees, then there's soil erosion, because for whatever reason, they hold soil together. And nature is just one of those, it's just one of the many examples that you have in nature. But that is where we belong as a species altogether. And you see the results. If you stop and take a look around, you see the results of what happens when progress goes unbalanced. So we've become technological marvels, and we've become industrial and economic marvels, but at the same time we have caused an imbalance with our surroundings. That's like a tree pulling too many nutrients up out of the soil and causing erosion that is actually meant to prevent. or taking in too much water, or producing too much oxygen, or taking in too much carbon dioxide, all of those things would produce an imbalance. And us as human beings have done the same thing, not only in our dealings with nature, but in our dealings with each other. We have thought that we have to take and take and take in order to survive, but the truth is you have to engage in a balance, and a measured balance at that, with what it is, with what's around you, with your environment. That includes our interaction with each other. When you know yourself, when you have done the progress to know yourself, you know what's good for you, so you are able to make better choices in order to further progress. That includes who you're around. That doesn't mean that there are bad people or good people, but there are people whose energies you better sync with than other people. I've had this experience all the time. Take me trying to date now. It's like, okay, you're nice, you look nice. Can you hold a conversation? Okay, that's great. What are the vibes that I get from you? What is the level of energy that I'm getting from you? Is it matching mine? Does it move in the same sync as mine? Are we aligned? Are we aligned spiritually? Are we aligned energetically? Are we aligned purposefully? These are things that you have to. Are we aligned in a physical sense, where we find each other physically attractive? Are we aligned in a social sense, where we can engage in social matters along similar lines? Are we alike? Do we engage with each other on an intensely mental level, where we challenge each other and we sharpen each other? Do we engage each other right on an emotional level, where we're able to open up and be vulnerable and give and take and give and take and give and take? And then, spiritually, which is at the hub of all these things. And of course, you guys have heard me talk about this before, but excuse me. But these are the things that you do. These are the things that you engage in as you progress, as you learn and master yourself, as you grow, as you come into new things and come out of old things, as you pick up new habits, and put down old ones that are designed to help you further yourself along. All these things that you do. I'll use myself as an example. Mentally sharpened, emotionally stable and available, socially balanced, introvert, extrovert. Physically was an area that I had to focus on, and why I was gaining so much weight. I was gaining a lot of weight because I was finding comfort in cooking, and I was actually somewhat fearful of exerting myself. Excuse me. Get my water. I was somewhat cautious of exerting myself because I had actually ended up in the hospital a couple of years ago from overexerting myself. I was doing like 100 squats a day, 100 body weight squats a day. Plus, I was working at FedEx and loading trucks. So between those two, my body actually gave out. I passed out at work, and I couldn't even go back to work there because of what had happened. And I actually ended up with rhabdomyolysis, which is, in layman's terms, it is where you have worked your body so hard that it's actually breaking down muscle fibers, and it tries to pass them through your kidneys. And my kidneys got gummed up because of that. And it took nothing more than 10 seconds for me to go from standing up, being completely cognizant, to ending up on the floor and trying to figure out how in the world I got there. So, and I realized, I just spoke with my mother earlier today about that, and I said I was actually afraid of working out because I didn't want that to happen again. That was a horrible feeling, and I didn't want to experience that again. So I was actually apprehensive of working out, but I knew I had to. And she's saying, take it slow, and I was like, yeah, but if I take it slow, excuse me, excuse me. Sorry about that. I'm thinking to myself, yes, if I take it slow, it's going to take me forever. So I was discouraging myself from doing it, and that's what happened. So that was progress for me to even, navigate my mental pathways to understand why or what it was that was mentally preventing me from doing something that I had to do in order to better stabilize myself physically, and that was it. So now I have more of a resolve to work out more, and pace myself, and be patient with myself in that area, and know that it's going to come. So that was it. Ugh, I'm glad I brought two waters. Jeez. Anyways, so yeah, that's what I wanted to share with you guys about progress. Um, Let me know what you think. What you think progress is. I'm always open to getting feedback from you guys. I'm always open to, um, you know, uh, you know, uh, springboard ideas. If you like this and you want to talk about something, you want me to talk about something next time, or you want to come on camera next time, that's always wonderful. You can always hit me up here, inbox me at author C.Harrison Nails. You can catch me on Instagram, that's Truth of Nails, at Twitter at the Chad Nails, email charrisonnails@gmail.com, or if you have my number, just call me and let me know. All right, but yeah, continue to progress, continue to uh, rise up to where you belong, continue to climb up out of whatever isn't you. Do that, because it is the best. It really is the best thing for you. And if you need help, I am a life coach. Let me know. Let me know if you need help. Um, Hit me up. By all means, uh, I can definitely help walk you through some stuff. That's not a problem at all. I am also a licensed minister, so not only do I do life, I am also not only do I do life coach, I will soon be doing health and wellness coaching too. I'll be starting that. Next week. I'll be starting that next week, and I'll have the certification for that in 6 months. And I also do spirit. Excuse me. Pardon me. I also do spiritual counseling. I've been doing that for a while now. Oh, man. Thank you, Deidre. It's good to give, and I'm glad that you feel it's good to receive as well. So that's definitely a goal. But again, you guys reach me whatever way you need to reach me, whichever way you feel comfortable reaching me. I'll do this again on Instagram, um, and then I'll put something up on Twitter, and then the radio podcast, I'll put up a link for that as well. And you guys can check out the shows that I've recorded on there as well. All right. Hope you guys are doing well. I love you. Continue going forward. Continue rising to where you belong. Continue to uncover the real you, and then be absolutely unafraid to live that out. All right? All right. Talk to you guys next time.